So Shinboners, how do you feel? Is our pouch half full or half empty? Losing is never nice, but strangely, there isn't a lot of hurt after that one. I saw our style, I saw some of our youth stand up, and we pushed top 14, pressuring for top 2, deep into the last quarter. In my preview, I dared hope that North could lose by less than 50. Heck, I dared hoped that we could keep them under 100. Heck. And we got that, and yet it's still disappointing that while we went deep into the last quarter, we didn't quite get over the line. Some of our mental fragility come back. So how much optimism do you have coming into the last 3 weeks? In particular, the short turnaround and return to the national stage on Thursday night. Welcome to Up North, a North Melbourne fan podcast from up north of the Murray. So the Siren Says Hawthorn win 99-83, less than 3 goals. And surprisingly, despite Hawthorn starting the best, we had a 3-goal lead at quarter time, 17 points. Normal service then threatened to resume in the second quarter, particularly when Wiz went bang, bang, bang. But we didn't have to wait for half-time or Kanga and the coaches to get to us. We responded on the field and went mostly goal for goal for the rest of the quarter. And at half-time, dead level. And then the third quarter again, it looked like Hawthorn were going to kick away with it. Wizard got his 4th and 5th. But we were the team who got the red time goals, 2 of them, and we led by a point at 3/4 time. And it's like dare to dream. The dream was a bit small. There'd been 12 lead changes in this game. Hawthorn couldn't shake us. And then even when they did kick clear again, because they really started the last quarter on fire, we still had our chances with Jack Darling and Foss. Both were called out by Clarko in the press conference. So losing sucks, but unlike last week, I'm not left hurt and despondent. So is the pouch half full? Why does this loss feel different? Maybe we could see our future Trembath. The inclusion of shotgun really helped him play that dominant key forward role, 3 goals. Colby McKercher in the first half looked good. Sheasel gets 2 goals. Bench gets a clever goal. There was a lot of positives. We really took it up to a team. And considering we've lost our last 7 against them by an average of nearly 10 goals, what a turnaround. That said, is the pouch half empty? Because we didn't take advantage when it was there. We couldn't take our opportunities in the 4th quarter. Gunston at one stage was 1 goal 5, and many of them were very gettable. We couldn't control the Wizard again. Someone's genuine match winner has another strong day against us. We just can't limit them. Hawthorn went into the forward 50 20 extra times to us. Guy Newcombe was the best player on the field. Half full, half empty. Still working through that one. Kanga Court is in session. The charge being slow starters. Hawthorn scored the first goal in every quarter. In fact, in the second and 4th quarter, bang, 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 both times, 3 quick goals. It really didn't help us. But where this charge gets serious is the slow starts were not helped by our leadership or senior players. In the first quarter, Suf takes a mark on about the forward 50, telegraphed his pass to Harry, and it gets intercepted. Jack Darling completely missed his handball target. Second quarter, we actually get our hands on the ball first at the first centre bounce. Luke Parker fumbles it. There's not a clear exit. Shortly after Watson's first 2 goals, Cherry got both hands on the ball in the ruck. and he handballed it to nobody and backwards. Like it wasn't even one of his dump kicks forward. We went backwards after he had both hands on the ball. Start of the third quarter, X gets his hand on the ball again first, fumbles another handball. It's not a quick, clean exit. And then, of course, in the final quarter, it was more than any one incident. Hawthorn quickly kicked the first 3 goals, and it was the margin in the end. And we run it out, we couldn't quite get them. Now, I'm not blaming any of those players individually. All players make mistakes. However, this is a collective. These are our leaders at the very first centre bounce when they're at their freshest and they have the experience to handle these situations. We cannot afford to easily concede opportunities, territory, or momentum. The players were fresh. It was the start of each quarter. So North, again, guilty. Slow starters, squandered opportunities, must improve. And this week, I feel the need to have some pouch protection. And again, it's for Colby McKercher. Now, he didn't have a great game, but he was definitely better. And I loved his second quarter. I loved his first half, but the second quarter was 10 possessions. He looked confident. He regularly took the first option and he used his speed. More often, he ran onto his left side. And he was looking for open targets. He wasn't trying to take the extra bounce or pick off the impossible kick. At half-time, I had him in consideration for our best on the ground. He did fade in the second half, and particularly the last quarter, he only got 2 possessions. Combined with Miniacs only getting 2 possessions in the last quarter, the players that are meant to give us our drive and our length only got 4 between them, which isn't good enough. But we need to do that more often. We need to get Colby involved. Give him more kick-in opportunities. Don't get beaten by what you know. Why is Caleb Daniel taking kick-ins, or so many of them? Look for him with handball receives. It was primarily Colby there in the first half, but there were some other players. Take the mark, stand rule, handball. Give him a license to create. Give him patience for mistakes. And like yesterday, he snuck forward and got a very important goal for us. And by chance, during the week, thanks to Giant Roo, I was watching some highlights, actually the whole fourth quarter of a game in 2002. And there's a young boomer, Harvey. We're down by 3 or 4 goals, fighting for a comeback. Harvey gets the ball on D50, run, bounce, butchered straight over to the Bulldogs player. A minute or 2 later in the highlights, gets the ball in the centre, looks to drive it into forward 50, butchered. I mean, this was a guy who had already won an E.J. Whitten medal and a premiership medal, but he was only 3 or 4 years into his career in 2002, 4th year. So young players learn by doing. Okay, we can't protect them from all the possible mistakes. They need permission to make mistakes. Keep demanding the ball. And there is nothing wrong if Colby spends the next few years developing again across the half-back line, because we talk about how slow our back line is. We want Hardeman in there for his run and his kick. Well, it can't be just Colby. It can't be just Hardeman. McKercher fills a valuable need. And living in Brisbane, we see that all the time with Dane Zorko. Okay? Teams deliberately put strong ball users behind the ball. Let's get the ball into Colby's hand and let him learn what works. So let's discuss our couple of ins for the week. Shotgun fired, maybe only 1 barrel, but he certainly gave our team better structure compared to Matt Whitlock. Now, he only played 50% of the game time, and I think he was in a third of our centre bounces. Bit disappointing he only got 2 kicks and 6 handballs, but the strength he brought to our team yesterday is that Trembath could play as our deep forward, our main target, and only pinch hit in the ruck when it suited us. Not like against St Kilda or Melbourne or Pies, where X was getting thoroughly beaten and we had to sacrifice Trembath in the ruck. I saw Shotgun the previous week against Brisbane, and we need him to impose himself. Just go a little bit harder, a little bit quicker. He's often around the play, and in the VFL he did that. Let's just give him the next 3 games and build that confidence. He deserves another game, and probably 3. Blamires, he also did well. Solid game, 15 touches, but he was regularly running hard both into D50 and forward 50. His heat map is a nice distribution. Had a very clever toe poke in the 4th quarter to set up a goal. I'm pretty sure it was Blamires. But, conversely, in the first half, when we were up by 2 or 3 goals, he had a nice run from the wing into forward 50, had a bounce, had a time to settle, picked out a standalone hawk. But a bit like Colby, this is part of the learning process. This guy has had more good games than bad, and we all think, most of us think, he's been unfairly treated when he was out for the suspension and then when he was out for concussion. And remember, he hasn't had a full pre-season with us yet. He was brought in for the SSP period. So let's get another 3 games into him, let him show his wares, gain experience, and a full pre-season training can't hurt him. Selection thoughts, easy mode. Many people thought after Bailey Scott only got 6 touches last week versus St Kilda that he wouldn't have been kept. Now, on the surface, he did well yesterday. He nearly doubled that from 6 to 11. But I cannot believe he can keep his place next week. In the first half, he clipped the post from close range. We should have been going in 4 goals up, not 3. A different stage, totally missed a handball directly to a Hawthorn player. And then one of his kicks, it was a short to medium kick, went out for a lasso. And then in the final quarter, we're fighting our way back into it. He's worked back to D50, gets the ball in the middle of the field, starts going to the far side. He has Colby next to him. Now, Colby would have been on his right foot, which is the wrong side. But he spurns Colby, okay? Back yourself. He doesn't hit his target. The Hawthorn player closed, spoiled. Now, North Melbourne scrambled for the next 30 seconds, and we basically take it straight back to the TV side. D50, Dylan Stevens gets the ball, Chol tackles him, incorrect disposal, Chol kicks the sealer. If you only get the ball 11 times, you cannot cruel your team 4 times, particularly when you didn't convert a goal and then you gave up essentially the match sealer. So I'm sorry, but that's, to me, the easy one. I'll find it very difficult if Bailey Scott's there on Thursday night. Medium mode, surely we get Stiffy Hardeman in. He would have been pretty handy at times as an option on Watson if we had have had him in or out. I didn't watch the VFL yesterday, but the stats say Hardeman got another 24 disposals. I did watch the 6-minute highlight package. There was a couple of great raking left foot kicks down the far side. Now, if North intends to keep him, Riley Hardeman needs to play for the experience. Him and Gotar, yes. If North can't keep him and want to trade him, there is very limited trade value in a VFL player. Get him into the seniors, okay? Particularly with the short turnaround. We might need to rest a couple of players. All right, so medium mode, I would have thought it's easy to get Stiffy in, particularly for Bailey Scott. Recent selections say it's not. Next selection thought is medium hard. George Wardlaw should be fit, and I really hope he is. Easy to pick bringing him in. Who is it that misses out though? George Wardlaw as a beast on the ball, linking, and actually probably has our best, not good, but our best average of goals per minute for our midfielders. I'm not sure who sits out. Is it Parker after playing essentially on ball a new role? Does he need a break after 5 days? So who do we leave out for George? And final thought, selection, hard mode. 42 must play. As I said earlier, I didn't watch yesterday. The one goal Griffin I did see in the highlights, it looked like rugby union where he picked the ball out of the maul and then just booted it through for a goal. But he got two more. And North Merchant or Thinker, I like both of you for your content on our players, have stated that that's 5 times now he's scored 3 goals in 8 games. Maybe his fitness is down, but he is a strong mark. He is an accurate shot. He can take physical contact. And once again, a lot of us have thought this would be an easy or medium selection, but it's been proving a bit difficult. He has got into the emergencies twice now, so he must be close. And again, 5-day break. Is it Jack Darling that needs to miss? So just reflecting on that, I'm asking for 3 changes for next week. Hardeman back in. Wardlaw back in. Should be fit if we believe Kevin. And 42 must play. And if we have to rest 3 players, I'm going to suggest that the first one we rest is Bailey Scott. No, that's a drop or omit. That's not a rest. Possibly, and I haven't mentioned this one, Gota. Once again, it's a 5-day turnaround, a flight back from Tasmania. This guy is proving very consistent and what we've all hoped for, showing what he can do back to back to back to back. Or JD or Parker have a rest. But Clarko's conservative and he likes his senior players. Oh, Elmac. I can't imagine they're going to play Elmac back in the VFL, so there might be a 4th player coming in. Wednesday night this week for a Thursday night game, as always recently, will be very interesting. 2 random thoughts before we wrap up. First one is, I read a tweet yesterday saying that, if we just pick one game versus Hawthorn as being close compared to a flogging, then, our one performance against Fremantle, no, we're a really shit side. And I agree, you can't cherry pick one result because according to that, Sydney are a terrible side because they gave up 100 points versus Freo in a half. And they're not. They're going to be second by the end of the year. Brisbane are top 4, top 6 side. They're a very good side. But Carlton last night just ripped them apart. GWS earlier this year put 86 points on in the quarter. So our improvement is there. Pies, we took it into red time. Melbourne, we were a slim chance at 3/4 time. St Kilda, we were a chance at 3/4 time. Hawthorn, we were a chance in red time. How many of us in the previous couple of years, figuratively, throwing the remote away or turning the TV off at quarter time or half time? So it is frustrating, but I'm not going to take a result. I'm going to take a series of results that say we are improving. We have a long way to go. Another random thought I have is Bull is not a defender. He doesn't deserve a spot in our forward line. I'd play Griffin there. Hopefully Big Game Zane comes back next year. So Zerha hasn't got a spot there. And in the back line, he does some great things. He looks great when he comes up, big punch over the top, can take a good contested mark. But I think every game, it feels like, I don't want to say every game, but it'd be close, where he just makes a crucial error. And yesterday in the 3rd quarter, he's under pressure in the goal square. And not only is it a bad kick, it's a bad kick straight down the middle of the field and short. And he misses his target, Hawthorn take a mark, and bang, it killed a bit of our momentum. So while Gota, Elmac, Hardeman, Colby are all available, I want Bull going back and playing centre half back or full back in the VFL because they're a bit shorter there, and spend 3 games learning the craft on the very deepest line. Oh, and one more. Mini X, why does he keep taking kick-outs? Okay, Colby, get Foss or she's all back there. Aiden Core, I have more confidence. But Daniel, he has a couple of okay kick-outs, but then he runs into trouble and he doesn't have the distance. You know, a Hardeman or someone else can at least get it outside 50. So, Clarko, backline coach, that one's on you. So, I'm leaning towards the pouch being half full. How are you feeling reflecting on Saturday's loss to Hawthorn? I'm Lyle from Up North. Thanks for tuning in. Can you share some comments about how you think we're going to go on the national stage on Thursday night? And thanks for listening. Until next time, Up North!